All right, we are talking about Ghostbusters Afterlife. This is a non-spoiler / spoiler-free discussion, I don't know, review, whatever you want to call it, of Ghostbusters Afterlife. Shay and I just saw it. However, Danny, the Dork Knight, has not. So we're trying to be cool while he's here and not talk about all the epic greatness that was.
This is what happens at the end, Danny. Okay, no, I'm just kidding.
All the epic greatness that was Ghostbusters. And the fact that this person, okay, look, we're talking about Ghostbusters Afterlife. Shane, let's get into it, baby. Dork Knight, if you're here for the first time, everyone, that's Shane. That's Danny, the Dork Knight. I'm Brian from the Popcast, and welcome to the Ghostbusters Afterlife discussion.
Nice. All right, so let's talk about a little bit of non-spoilery stuff. Okay, Ghostbusters Afterlife is, aside from the video game, which we learned earlier, is the true third iteration of Ghostbusters. It is a continuation of the story that took place with the first Ghostbusters, and then of course Ghostbusters 2, which didn't quite have the warm reception as the first Ghostbusters movie. But we believe that, according to, if you take the audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, fans are going to love Ghostbusters Afterlife. Its runtime is, I think, 2 hours and 4 minutes, and it's rated PG-13, I think.
Has two. I've heard it's got two. It's like a Marvel movie. You got to stay. It's got 2 after credit scenes, right?
It does, yeah. I actually
yes.
missed one of them because I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, it's really great because it tricked everybody. I was literally the last people in the theater. Me, my wife, and 2 of my kids. The screen went blank after the credits. They fell asleep. So I'm trying to wake them up. And then all of a sudden, 10 seconds after the screen's blank, then the final scene actually pops open. So nobody saw it. Everybody left the theater but me. And I'm like, oh my gosh, nobody realizes there's an actual second scene. And I stayed and watched it, and I'm not going to say anything to you, but I was like, oh my God, I can't believe everybody's missed this.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys know, and I didn't know this for probably a decade, that the terrible abomination of a movie called Masters of the Universe with Dolph Lundgren had an after credit scene that set up a sequel that never happened? Did you know that? Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, like I didn't know that for almost 10 years. It's basically Skeletor pops up out of like a vat of whatever he fell in, and he says the Schwarzenegger line, "I'll be back."
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I actually didn't know that. And so
they've been around a while.
You needed the internet to be able to tell you that, because most people wouldn't have figured it out.
I thought after credit screens were sort of a new development.
Yeah, no, that's I did too, but now they've been a thing.
Here is the tomato meter, boys.
Whoa, that's lower than I expected. 61. I mean, I've heard nothing but good things.
Well, that doesn't really matter because those are the dumb critics.
Well, these are the critics that love the 2016 show.
Yeah. Most of these critics are fans of the 2016 version.
Yes. In fact, there was one review that made me so angry. I rarely want to reach through my computer, but I wanted to after reading their review.
Have you guys hit the goal that the Salty Nerd's been working on, or like where you're accredited by Rotten Tomatoes so you can be considered a critic?
I've been trying so hard to make that happen.
Yeah, they're trying to push people. I think you need 200 4-star or higher reviews on Apple Podcasts, and once you hit that milestone, you qualify to be a film, one of the actual film critics, so you can help combat that 61% number, for example.
Yeah, we need to do that for sure.
Yeah,
because there's too many great movies. The more you know.
Yeah.
With a rainbow.
Yeah.
So what can we say non-spoiler, Mr. Brian?
Well, it stars the world's sexiest man or whatever.
Oh yeah, Paul Rudd is now the world's sexiest man according to People magazine.
At like 52. I swear that guy drinks the blood of the young or something.
No, he made it.
Like, look at me.
He made a deal with Gozer, bro.
Look at this white, and like I'm 42. The guy's 10 years older than me.
Yeah.
and he doesn't have a single white hair on his face. I mean, even his stubble, you can't color that. His stubble is black.
No,
It makes me sick.
He's a perfect human being.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's quickly talk about this 95% score because that's what I would have rated it. I would have rated it 95 too, because the movie for me, without any spoilers, hit all the marks. It had the member berries, it had the feel, had the tone. When I heard that iconic sound, you know, the ambience, whatever.
Oh yeah.
It was like chills up and down my spine. All the cool world building stuff they did.
Oh my God, I'm so excited to see this movie. I'm so jealous of you guys.
Egon's farm, which I can't talk about right now. So many cool things. And just so you know, the actress that played his granddaughter is absolutely phenomenal.
Dude, just from the trailers alone and the clips that I've seen, she's got to be. I don't care. Like, if I ask you a question, you can answer it. She's like the lead, right?
Yeah, she's the lead. Yeah.
McKenna Grace. Yeah.
Yeah, she looks like and they shot this a few years ago, so she's 15 now. So she had to be 12 or 13 when they made this. And for someone that young to be so talented, and like you know, I haven't seen the movie, just the trailers, but it seems like she's got his he being Egon's like deadpan sense of
she channels
sensibilities,
Egon.
like the quirks, you know, like
she even has she has dad jokes that just land every time for me.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
she's perfect as an Egon.
Right on. In what is it? The last trailer. What does Bill Murray say at the end? Like that got me really excited. Like, did you miss me or miss us? Yeah, and I was like, oh my God.
No, it's great. Now, if I had one criticism, what's the guy's name? Wolfhard? Wolf something?
Oh, Finn Wolfhard.
Finn
Wolfhard.
That's a porn star name right there.
He was fine, but I don't think they gave him much to do because he wasn't really the star. So
yeah, I don't think he was supposed to be though.
Yeah, he didn't. But he didn't really have much to do this movie. And
what are you talking about? It looked like he did a lot of driving in the commercials.
Yeah, that's all he did.
Well, he also he had a role to play, which was to solidify the fact that this is an Egon relative family, because the mom that they pulled in.
So is he the brother?
What's that?
Is he her brother?
Yes, he's McKenna. He's Phoebe. Yeah, McKenna Grace's brother.
So Egon's his grandfather as well then.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So again, if I ask you, then it's on me.
Okay.
The Annie Potts character. Did it? You know, she and Egon hook up? Is that?
She's barely in the movie.
No, okay. So she's not the one that Egon had the daughter with that has the grandkids.
She was a friend of Egon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do they ever go into like who the wife was or whatever?
No, they don't.
They don't actually. Yeah.
You know, I do believe that the Potts character was there for the trailer. Like they put her in the scene so that they could say that she was in the movie. You know, it was a member.
I just thought
she didn't really serve a purpose either.
I was kind of hoping, because they had like, you know, they always had. I thought they had good chemistry, especially in the first movie, especially that scene where like Egon's under the desk. You know what I mean? And he comes out while she's sitting there, and like I don't know. I just I was really hoping
it would have been nice had that been her mom.
Yeah, because when I saw that trailer, that was my assumption.
And they look and they even look alike a little bit.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that's cool that they hooked up, but I guess not. So
she does play a role that you got to kind of put it together, and I think she does play. She did stick by Egon. Let's put it that way.
She did.
Cool. I know you guys are itching to talk spoilers. I just
well, no, it's okay. The one thing I would say is that Finn Wolfhard, because he's so great in Stranger Things and other stuff, I think he does add to the film, but I think he's there just to give this, to kind of just solidify the fact that these are Egon's descendants. And I know that McKenna Grace could do it probably on her own, but looking at him is like, wow, looking at a younger version of Egon without glasses.
Right.
Well, I mean, they did a great job with her, the hair, the glasses, the facial the mannerisms. I mean, I saw her on like, I can't remember, it was like Good Morning America or something like that, but it was like her, Dan Aykroyd, Ernie Hudson, Paul Rudd, and Bill Murray in the firehouse with the Ecto. This was just the other day, doing an interview, and she looks so different now. Like
Yeah.
she's like a foot taller, long blonde hair.
Right.
So like, I'm really hoping, and don't spoil this for me, but I'm really hoping they leave it open and they've set it up, and that this movie does successful enough that this starts a new franchise. And because you've started with people young enough, they could carry this franchise for Marvel's time frame, like
Absolutely,
a decade or more down the road.
Easily.
So
Easily
yeah.
10 movies.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's going to
Or
depend.
give me
on,
a Netflix series. Shit, that'd be even better.
Well, it's going to depend on one thing really important. And this is a little bit of disappointing. We can probably share, is that when Brian went and saw the movie, the theater was not full. And when I went and saw the movie, he saw it on, opening night.
I saw opening day, the very first showing, the very first day it was available.
And there was not a lot of people.
Popular theater in a
Kate.
Wait, listen, in a popular theater in a popular dense area of California. Like, come on.
Right.
Damn, Kadish said the same thing. He said like him and his girl, like there were only a handful of people in there, and it did. I think it was like 14.5 million Thursday night.
Yeah.
I think is what I read. It's projected to do around 40. I would like to think it was, do better than that.
More.
Yeah.
Well, and I went to the 740 showing on a Friday night in Southern California.
That should have been packed.
And it wasn't. It was maybe half.
Do you know what the budget was?
I'll tell you right now. It was a lot, I'm sure. It's going to be, they're going to have to, they needed to really have like a 70 or $80 million opening weekend.
Yeah.
They, in order for it to, it couldn't, the word of mouth is going to spread on this, I believe. Their budget was only 75 million.
Oh, great. That's
great.
Because the 2016 piece of garbage was like $140 million budget.
How did they make this movie for $75 million?
Well, they made the first Ghostbusters for 30 million,
right,
and the second for 34.
Well,
but that's also like 1980s money. So
yeah, and Ivan Reitman also said he had no idea what it was going to cost, but it was 3 times the cost of Stripes is what he went with. So, but yeah, so
okay, so they got to at least double that,
right?
So what'd you say? 75? Is that what
75 million?
Yeah. So they need. Okay, they should. Hell, man, if they don't do at least, I think it'll be successful. I mean, damn, I really do wish it could make its money, like just break even on opening weekend. That would have been ideal.
That would have been perfect. Yeah, and then everything else is gravy.
Gravy, yeah.
But I think the problem is, and we'll see when it opens up worldwide, what happens there. But I was shocked. I was surprised. I mean, if you look at it realistically, if you're not at least 38 years old, actually, I would say if you're not at least 40 years old, let's go with Brian. You don't remember going to the movies to see the first Ghostbusters movie. And not saying that it couldn't get fans on video after that and over the years, but I think the people who felt emotionally attached to Ghostbusters in the way that Brian and I saw it, or the way that Matt Kadish, or the way that you're probably going to feel when you saw it, there's an age demographic there that's critical. And
I still remember, I was like 5 or 6. I still remember seeing that in the theater. And because I remember being freaking terrified. I actually had a nightmare that night because as a little kid, some of those scenes, especially like when Dana's in the chair and the arms come up and like like drag her into the kitchen. Like that was, as a kid, that was pretty scary. And then I also, oh my God, Sigourney Weaver was gorgeous in that movie. I mean, especially as a kid,
especially coming off of Aliens. Yeah.
Oh my, well, I mean, like I didn't see Aliens that was my first exposure to Sigourney Weaver was Ghostbusters.
Okay.
And like, when she's possessed and in that red dress, I was like, I'm pretty sure that was the first time I had a hard on. I was like,
I was confused that I actually thought that Gozer was Sigourney Weaver.
That's so funny. Alex thought so too.
Yeah, because they looked so similar.
Yeah.
That I didn't catch that until I was actually older.
Yeah.
That it was a different, like a foreign actress, actually.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens. I think that the 20 and 30-year-olds need to show up, but they may not be as motivated to show up to this movie because they may not have the emotional connection to the first ones. And then now you've got these people that have created this emotional connection to the 2016 movie, which we don't agree with, that might be like, so, we just got to get the word out and people need to go see it because they're not going to be disappointed.
Agreed. Now, Danny, for the last couple minutes of this, I really want to talk about some spoilers.
I got you. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Love you, buddy.
I love you too, man. Like, we do got to chat, more later about some of this other stuff we talked about.
Yeah.
But as far as I'd love to, come back anytime you guys want to chat. So just let me know.
All right.
Good to have you, man. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, man. We'll see you soon.
Peace. Oh.
Oops. you cut him out right as he was about to say something. That's funny.
Sorry.
Sorry, Danny.
I'm sorry, Danny. We were clicking the button. All right, real quick, because I got to go pretty soon. But listen, there are 2 after credit scenes. I missed one. Shane saw both. I went on to see the second one, and boy, should I have stuck around for that second one.
Oh, yeah.
It does set up. Okay, hold on. If you're watching this and you don't want spoilers, I'm about to spoil some stuff. So come back later. Right? In 3, right? 2, 1. It does set up more Ghostbusters movies. It does set up more Ghostbusters movies.
It does. It 100% does. And it does it with Ernie Hudson.
Yes.
Which is the
awesome.
coolest thing about it.
So
is
awesome.
that while they still can use the kids, I mean, they're setting it up with Ernie.
Right.
And not saying that Ernie, he's 75 years old. But you do get more Annie Potts in that as well. So that was kind of cool. So it's kind of Annie talking to him and he's going through and he's setting up the old firehouse, bro,
right.
And he's bringing it back. So maybe he sets up the firehouse and these kids kind of take over as the new Ghostbusters,
Entirely possible. Also, spoilers here. The end of the movie, with Harold was so, with Egon's ghost, their grandfather, was so powerful. It made Shane cry like a baby. I'm looking at him like, yo, Shane, stop crying. You're embarrassing me, bro.
But you too, bro. Don't worry.
I cried too. I did. It was very good, guys. Look, if you, I believe wholeheartedly that the critics that are giving this a bad review are just, snowflakes. They love the 2016 stuff or whatever. Or they have no connection to Ghostbusters. Because if you have a connection to Ghostbusters and you watch this movie, I don't see how you can give it a bad review. I don't see.
Yeah, the 61% is wrong. And what I'm hearing is a lot of people saying, "Oh, there's no originality. The plot's essentially the same thing as the original one." The problem here is that, guys, this is a nostalgia movie. It's reintroducing generations to Ghostbusters in a different way. And yes, it's not telling the same story, guys. It is finishing the first story.
Right.
It's finishing it. And you have to, there's only one way for Gozer to come back. Gozer needs the Zool, the gatekeeper and the keymaster need to get together. So you can't I don't know how you expect them to change the entire story. I mean, it's a totally different location, but certain events need to take place and happen.
Right.
And it's done in a way that the show is cleverly sarcastic.
Yes. And it's done in a way that's finite too.
Yeah. The relationship between the mother and the kids, and even Paul Rudd's interaction with the whole thing is very pithy, very fresh. The whole way the Echo Ecto one goes out, and they now have these gunner doors where you've seen it in the trailers, and they have this RC car that's a trap. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah,
the way they've upgraded this movie or updated it.
Really, really cool stuff. John Burns says, Crack did a video about how James Bond was not about the Ghostbusters.
We can talk about that though real quick afterwards.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, guys. So that's it for the Ghostbusters review. Listen, it's awesome. We would love to get into this more. But go see the movie. Good.
Yeah.
I have a feeling a lot of people haven't seen it yet, bro, because I was in the theater.
It is a spoiler. Well, by the time this clip comes out, people will have seen the movie.
I was in the theater with 6 people, and 4 of them was my family.
No, it was troubling to see how few people there. But I mean, I'm telling you, I'm not lying when I tell you, how this movie made me feel. Like literally, Endgame was the last time that I had this emotional moment over a movie, and that was back in 2019. And I'm literally like 11 times in the last 21 years as a movie had this kind of impact on me. When Harold Ramis, when Egon's ghost, takes his granddaughter's, hand and helps her to defeat Gozer when she was about to lose. I mean, dude.
Oh my God.
It's a moment.
Strong hands there.
It's a moment, dude. It's a moment. And the fact they were able to bring him back to life on screen, the man's dead. The fact they were able to, put together his character and visually create his ghost on screen. And it was him, bro. It was him.
Yeah. And his grandson, was about to help with Gozer, and then has that bright moment to hit the capacitors with the proton pack. It was so good, man.
Yeah, it was good.
And the whole the field of traps is awesome.
Yeah. No, it was a great idea. I mean, this is totally any critic who takes a poo-poo on this is just, they're doing it because they're on the wrong side of history here. They want to be 2016, as my son calls them, girl busters. Doesn't even call them Ghostbusters, he calls them girl busters. And
who are you gonna call?
And you can enjoy that movie if you want to, but if you're looking for movies to take off in that way and to have, to not appreciate the original creation of them because you simply don't want to, go back to that time period. Seems like a lot of people don't want to go back to the 80s and live in that moment at all, because everything is, needs to be fresh moving forward, the future. But in this moment, you needed this. You needed Bill Murray. You needed Dan Aykroyd. You needed, Ernie Hudson. You needed him in this moment, and they play an interesting role. They further the film.
They do, and they save the day, but they don't save the day on their own, which means that the kids were an important part of this story. It was really a really, really good movie. Around.
J.K. Simmons plays the guy who made the original building. They actually have his character,
Right, Shandor, right?
Yeah, so there's so much to this movie that is amazing.
And real quick spoiler, I love this, and I don't know if it was intentional or what, but they're going through the timeline of the Ghostbusters, and they're showing all the crazy events in history that line up with this Shandor thing, and I love how they just sort of skipped 2016.
They did, yeah. That you're right. So that moment, because it's not part of the timeline.
And that's the excuse when someone asks them. That's the excuse the studio can say. But let's be real. Most people want to just ignore that. I'm sure they want to ignore the fact that movie even happened.
Well, they wanted to reboot the franchise, and the franchise didn't need to be rebooted yet. There was still time. I mean, you can kind of reboot the franchise, but continue the story.
Right.
And that's what people want. They want the story to continue, not create a new story.
Yeah. Really strong stuff, real powerful. It's just a great movie all around. I loved it. I loved every minute of it, man. I loved every minute. I was cheering so much my wife was like, Can you chill out? We're gonna wrap this up though, guys. Listen, on the way down to that comment section to tell us how awesome the movie was or not. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks for watching. To see the full conversation, become a member of the podcast family. Use the link in the description below, or go to our channel and click the join button. Select your tier, and we'll see you at the next show.